Hello! Bl'Artagnan here with the 6 Warrior Quest Prelude. We're bringing a TreeVoid challenge team. Before we get too deep into it, be sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you think about the fight, about the team, about the challenge, about what did you bring, who did you use? I'd love to hear from you. There's a lot to talk about with this stage. And of course, hit that notification bell if you haven't. Slam it, ring it, send it into the sky, I don't know. The TreeVoid challenge for this fight is pretty interesting. We got no synergy, have to choose between BT or Ultima weapon, one of every crystal color, and you can't use the same weapon type. You also can't use greatsword, bow, or staff. So with those qualifications out of the way, let's get into it. So there's a lot going on here. Definitely a new format that I enjoyed quite a bit, I think. Of course, we got the 6 warriors. That means we can, at any time on one of our turns, swap any of our party members out for one of the other 3 that we have on the bench, each with their own set of calls. And we're fighting these two robot dudes, these 2 robots. And they got some interesting stuff. It's pretty neat because you can plan your bench for added utility if you want. You can plan for like specific situations. Obviously like a one-off call or something, like almost like a super call kind of. Or you can plan to counter specific boss mechanics. That's what they're envisioning here. There's a lot of stuff going on. You'll see that the boss thresholds now, their HP thresholds, are now demarcated, so you know when you're about to trigger something, which is pretty awesome. You can also tell when they're about to do an attack that's going to mess you up. It's that glowing red all attack versus the non-glowing all attack. One of those is a lot more threatening. So, what do we got going on here? We have Charlotta, we had Vaughn, who we've tagged out for Rem, we have 9, we have in the back Setzer, and 8. Our secret weapon, we'll get to that. So 9's here to keep us safe, because that flying robot's about to mess us up. Flying robot's pretty similar to his usual incarnations. He kind of swaps between flying and landing, and when he's, one of them gives him magic immunity, the other gives him physical immunity. That's kind of, he's like a stance-based thing. A lot of, cleansing and debuffing and buffing and attacking. Kind of dangerous. The only mechanic he has beyond his usual shtick, really, is that at 80% he does the, at this point now, kind of a classic the warping after your turn thing for 3 actions. Which can be awkward if you're not timing things right, but something we haven't seen before. Now, the other robot, little crab dude, who we've been focusing down because he's scary, he's, even though he's smaller, he's kind of the star of the show, I guess, to a degree. Thank you, 9, for keeping us safe there. He switches at each of those thresholds between his blue and red stances. Blue, he will, he starts in blue, but it doesn't really matter. From that point on, but every other time he goes into blue, he will basically become invincible and undelayable frame turns until his next turn, and he will do a big old AoE smash you attack. Red is a little more interesting. Red applies an HP poison effect to the field, along with that orb there that says you got a HP regen in order to counter the orb. It's a -2 on player action, 1 on boss turn, which is the way it used to be, but it's been a while since we've had an orb that kind of functions that way. There we go. You saw that was the big scary smash you attack I told you about. Thankfully we have Setzer on the field to keep that from happening, it being a problem. What else is there mechanically to speak of here? While in the red aura, B will just straight up gank you if you go below 30% of your health. They straight up, like, kills you straight through, immortality, anything, just kills you to dead. Now, I mentioned that 8 was my secret weapon. Why is that? We just saw it, actually. A has this pretty scary attack that he does, where he buffs himself a bunch, and then does a 100% AoE, a single target attack that does 100% splash, and it can be very, very damaging. And I knew when that came out, I wanted an evasion character to deal with it, because when I tried getting... most tanks don't have enough mitigation to stop it from being a problem, and I didn't really want to... I guess I could have brought in 9 to deal with it, but there's a lot of AoE attacks in this fight, and I didn't have to risk it. Running out of AoE mitigation, I mean. Basically, I didn't want to get into a situation where A has the single target attack queued up and B has his AoE smash you attack queued up, and then 9 is just sitting there like, well, I can stop one of those things. So I figured we'd bring in 8 as our ringer to deal with that single target attack. I actually gotta say, once you get over how long 8 makes fights, shout out to Layla, pretty darn good challenge run character for, like, you know, just countering mechanics. You know, in this day and age, he actually caps reasonably well. Just because, you know, garbage time. But anyway, I'm not here to talk too much about 8. I just, he came in handy there. We have Vaughn with the Ultima Sword, and Charlotta with the Ultima Unique Weapon. Not 5 out of 5. Charlotta's, I think, 1 out of 5. Vaughn is 5 out of 5. We will not be pressing Vaughn's BT during this. Here's another good reason why I wanted 8 here. These guys can get a lot of Brave quickly, and just kind of mess you up if you're not timing things right. And so to counter that, the thing with the Brave is that because of that HP Poison Aura, your HP is functionally lower. It's almost like you have a 30% max HP down in a sense. 'Cause, yeah, you can heal between turns and stuff, but in a lot of cases, like, they'll just passively be like, oh, I'm at 12,000 Brave, and you're at 11,000 hit points just because that's how many you have. Anywho, of course, like, its on-turn damage still sucks. But anywho, what do we got going on from that point on? We have Charlotta here. Charlotta and Vaughn are here to be our main damage dealers because they don't really care if the flying guy goes magic damage immune because they're pretty evergreen as far as their damage goes. I'm trying to figure out if I want to risk going below 30% health with like the HP poison because we're slightly under healing the poison, but only slightly. It's worth noting, I think everything here except for the execute is dodgeable, so you know, do dodges, blinds, things like that. I want to say it's possible that 1 or 2 of the things might not be, but I'm pretty sure everything's dodgeable. So Vaughn is kind of a funny pick here because his blind will randomly, get us out of trouble. But my basic goal at this point is now that we're past the 80% mark for flying robot, because that's the one place in which he can really trip you up with his warps. Mostly focus down B because he's the one with actual mechanics that we have to worry about. I mean, technically, yes, A has, like, his debuffs and the big scary AoE attack he's about to throw at us, which is why 9 is back. But we also have Setzer. The reason, by the way, that I'm not just using Setzer to freeze my way to victory against these guys is that big scary single target attack, and possibly other attacks, I'm not really sure, apply buffs that actually... and at least one of my runs push off the freeze before you can do anything about it. So to be on the safe side, I figured we'd just go ahead and rely on other forms of mitigation. I mean, this entire team setup, the philosophy I had was, okay, well, Vaughn plus Charlotta will do enough damage by themselves to carry the fight, so we just need to keep those two safe. We can build the rest of the team around doing that. Within the, of course, within the restrictions that Mr. TreeVoid has put upon us, as I highlighted earlier in the video. Alright, now B is about to do his big old mess us up attack. As you saw there, B wasn't targeting all there, B was targeting 8, and so I thought we were good, but then, after switching in Rem, the targeting changed to all, so I realized, oh wait, no, he's planning on messing us the heck up. We should do something about that. And do something we shall. Even more mitigation. Here's Reno. Just the criticism I'm having, or not having, the criticism I'm hearing from others about this fight is that it didn't have quite enough health. I don't know. I felt like the amount of health was reasonable given how long the run took. How long this run took, I should say. Because there's a lot of thinking and stuff you have to do into it. It's not the most challenging fight necessarily, but you do have to think your way through it and make decisions, and it doesn't roll immediately over. I will say that I think having access to 6 characters and 6 calls, even without a friend unit, is a lot of power and a lot of versatility and utility. Like I said, you can see here, I basically built my calls around utility. You can build your calls around damage, a lot of defense down. One interesting thing, flying robot guy, missed, idiot, is immune to debuffs that lower speed. This includes Kurasame, this includes Yuffie. This includes what else? Arceela's Max Brave and Speed down. Like, you know, just there's some surprising little, you know, cases where that has a speed down component and doesn't affect them. So that was throwing me off at first. It's part of why we're not using Kurosame here. I mean, you can use them if you want, but anyway, I thought it was very interesting that in the past there are a lot of like debuffs that you know you could get around stuff like that, where a boss would be like immune to attack down, but you can use a bunch of unique attack downs. I used to love using X-Death in fights where the boss was immune to attack down, because obviously they don't want you to debuff the attack, so if you do it, it's very effective against them. Ditto speed, etc., etc. It seems they've caught wise to that and decided, nope. If you're not able to lower this guy's speed, I mean, turn rate's another question. If you want to, do turn rate down on him, by all means. Immediately and Keystis, good luck with that team. I mean, it's pretty decent, I guess, so long as you can still give blue turns. Anyway, there we have it. Blew him up. I talked over a summon, and there we have it. TreeVoid challenge? No, well, it was a long list of requirements, but I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching through to the end, and I will see you in the next video. Adios.